Hi, this is Kelly with Sterling Editing. We're looking today at writing in the first person, working with a story about a woman called Mary who works in the space program. We're going to jump right into editing the story with the goal of making the first person voice as immediate and accessible as possible. And here's the first thing that I would do to help with that. Delete the entire first section. Whoa, you may be saying, what's happening there? Let's back up and take a look. Remember that you have a pause button if you need to slow things down and spend some time with the text. Now, first person is my chance as a reader to get right inside the skin of a character and walk in her shoes, to discover the story along with her. This prologue's making that very difficult. The opening of your first-person story needs to be as engaging and immediate as possible to hook us right into a character in the middle of a situation so that we can immediately start to understand her perspective. We're getting a lot of information in this prologue, but information isn't story. Character experience is story. I don't want to be told by the character what is going to happen. I want to experience it for myself. Don't take that discovery away from me. That brings us to the second section of the story. This will be our new beginning, but we will not be beginning with this. Don't ever tell us that you're going to tell us a story. Just put us right into the action and allow us to begin. So this will be our new beginning. As we edit this paragraph, let's remember a couple of things. The first is that in first-person voice, every sentence must either advance the story or deepen our understanding of the character. We either get new information or we get a bigger perspective into the character and her world. If your sentences don't do that, you don't need them. The second thing is that in order to make the voice immediate and intimate, every word you choose must provide some kind of a clue for me as a reader to Mary's character, to her emotional state, her psychology, her background, her attitudes toward the world. You can't miss any choice to make that more clear. How do you do that? A couple of ways. You use specific details and you use language that carries emotional as well as factual meaning. Let's take a look at the first paragraph from that perspective. This first paragraph advances the story. We get information. She works in space administration. She's been there a long time. She expects to be there longer still. That's the goal of this paragraph. But there's very little of personality or real voice here. And look how generic these details are. Let's start by fixing that. I worked at Kennedy Space Center. Let's put her right in the heart of the shuttle program. For almost 20 years as an assistant supervisor has to go. Way too generic. Let's make Mary a navigation systems engineer. That puts her again right in the heart of the program and gives us lots of wonderful metaphor opportunities later for flight, freedom, going in the right direction, etc. In fact, let's pick one of those now to give a little window into Mary's character. And I made every one of my shuttles fly true. Do you see the sense of personal ownership and the opportunities for flying, for going in the true direction, things that we can anchor into in the story later on to show Mary's continuing perspective on the world. Let's give her a little perspective on where she is as well to make the beginning of the story just a bit more immediate. She's at Kennedy Space Center. That's in Florida. Florida is hot. I sweated. Do you see how word choice makes a difference here? We've got Florida being hot from her perspective, and then the use of the word sweated to tell us not just that she works hard, but that she's emotionally invested in her job. The only thing we need to add now is that she thought she'd be doing it for another 20 years. And that's our new first paragraph. We've managed to do the same amount of work in a much more streamlined and much more immediate way. We're going to pick up at this point in the next Editcast, but I want to make sure that this information is clear. Use your sentences, use your specific details. Information is not story. Character is story. Join us for the next Editcast. We'll see you then.